Jesse looked up, longing for the day that he would be up there looking down on everything, even the birds. He would turn, dive, and loop over them, just like he had seen the planes do many times. He was just imagining the day he would sit up in the cockpit. There was an airfield not far from where Jesse lived. Whenever he got the chance, Jesse would sneak into the field and watch the planes.
And we were sharecroppers, and we were all out in the field working. And the man that owned the big farm that we worked for, he had a son that was a pilot in World War II. And he was training in Biloxi, Mississippi. And when he was doing training, this was only 60 miles away. So when he was going missions, he would come home and circle and buzz his home and things quite often. And this particular day, and the field was long, and there was a long clearance, about a mile, before there was any trees or anything. And he would cut his power and glide until he got it right all over us. And then he'd hit the power and drop and take off and just get the jingles out of everybody. Everybody else would be running to get under a tree or something and hide. And Jesse would be sitting up there like he was crazy talking about he was going to do that someday. And everybody knew he must be crazy. At that time, that was even before the Tuskegee Airmen. And but that was what he wanted to do, was to fly an airplane.
The movie Hell's Angels was playing at the Sanger Theater in downtown Hattiesburg. Jesse's oldest brother, Marvin, did not hesitate when Jesse asked him for a dime to go see the movie. He knew how much Jesse loved planes. Jesse sat in the Negro balcony, his eyes wide open as the American and German fighter planes battled each other. He imagined himself in the cockpit firing his machine gun at the German airplane. I'm sure, right then, Jesse thought to himself, one day I'll be a famous fighter pilot, just like the ones in the movie. Jesse had no doubt that somehow he would make this happen. August 1945. After a long and bloody war with the Japanese, President Harry S. Truman ordered the deployment of the ultimate weapon, the atomic bomb. After the Japanese surrendered, the United States entered Korea to remove remaining Japanese forces. 5 years later, Truman was called off his summer holiday to meet Secretary of State Dean Acheson for crisis talks in Washington. At the same time, the UN Security Council was addressed by its Secretary General, hence the start of the Korean War. Meanwhile, in Mississippi, a young man was home trying to earn enough money to keep himself at Ohio State University. This man was Jesse Leroy Brown. He worked at a dry cleaner's, picking up and delivering dry cleaning to customers who live in Kelly's Settlement, his home near Eatonville. However, Jesse had another reason he was home. His girlfriend Daisy lived there.
After the prom and we started dating, we would send each other a special delivery every day. Had to be a little expensive, but on the days that he couldn't come over to my house, I'd get a special delivery. And we just, he wrote beautiful letters, and he loved to write letters. And he could write the longest letters, and he was very expressive. I could write a little note with 2-3 lines or whatever, but I could never write letters the way he wrote them. But we did. And no special deliveries every day when he had not planned to come over to see me.
I was home only about 9 or 10 days for Daisy's graduation, and spent time all with Daisy and my family. I hope you'll get the job drafted for that architect you named. I know it will be an excellent practice and experience. They are really proud of you, man, and Eureka. I think most this year's graduating class are going to college. They've been accepted at Fisk, Southern, Lincoln, and a few more. Professor Berger is rightfully proud of them. I saw him out there briefly. He's working in town again this summer, so he can go back to med school in the fall. Right soon, and the latest. Smile. Your ace, Jesse.
When Jesse was not studying or working, he was either writing or spending time with Daisy or friends and family.
Jesse was a well-loved person, and they were not about to let some boy come in there and start trying to talk to Jesse's girlfriend.
Dear Ike, happy birthday. I was glad to get your letter. The days around here lack a touch of spring. We're still having plenty of Columbus sunshine, namely rain and snow. I'm having my ups and downs, like just hanging it in. I often think of that chick you jived that night on 7th Street, and I have to laugh. Remember? Boy, it was Gwen. Know that? Wow. Give Gwen my regards. Smile. Your pal, Jesse.
Jesse later returned to Ohio. He had been rehired by the railroad.
During the time that he was there, he worked at night. I think that's why he had to stop participating in track, because he worked at night loading or unloading boxcars, whatever you do with boxcars. And that was kind of hard on him, so I think he came home and stayed a semester, may have stayed a little more, well, he stayed home a semester.
He worked the 3:30 p.m. until midnight shift unloading engine parts from boxcars, making 83 cents per hour.
I very seldom pick up anything weighing less than 80 pounds.
He'd written to Daisy, who was waiting tables at the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg. Jesse had always wanted to be a pilot.
Well, they tell me when Jesse was young, that when they would be out in the field picking cotton, that he always said that he wanted to fly a plane. He said when a plane would fly over the cotton fields, and he said, I'm going to fly one of these one day. But he was a person that if he was a determined person, the odds of him being able to go to Ohio State, his father never gave him a penny, to help him go to school. And he didn't mind getting out there working. He knew what he wanted. He wanted to be an architect, and he knew that he would have to leave Mississippi in order to become an architect.
So he went to the aviation program director at Ohio State. He bluntly told Jesse that unless he wanted to be a mechanic, there would be no openings for Jesse. Not because of his level of skill, but because of the color of his skin.
We knew in the beginning if he got into that program that it was going to be rough. He was going to have to experience some things that he never dreamed that he would have to endure. And when the time came, I don't really think it bothered me that much. I mean, I'm from the South, and I've had to get off the sidewalk and let people walk past there when the sidewalk is at plenty space enough for both of us. So having grown up here and experienced a lot of the things that we had gone through during that time, it wasn't really unusual.
This was nothing new for Jesse. He had faced the same challenges all his life, including being accepted into Ohio State University in the first place.
Most kids didn't go to college at that time. They did very, very well if they managed to finish high school. But Jesse had worked and saved his money, and that was supposed to last him, that 1 year, and he was supposed to get a job. And he did get the job, and he did stay there at 1 year.
Jesse Brown was determined to be a pilot. Jesse had already thought of joining the Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps. Then Jesse saw his break. It was a Navy poster recruiting students for a new aviation program.
By this time, he had heard about this program where he could become a pilot. He had always wanted to be a pilot. I think it was called, he was in the ROTC, Navy ROTC, and there was this test that you would have to take to get into the flight program.
Jesse went to see Lieutenant Earl Dawkins. Dawkins directly told Jesse, there has never been a black man ever to enter selective flight training. Never.
I'd like to be the first, Mr. Dawkins. I thought a lot about it.
Dawkins then tells Jesse that it has been 50 years since Eugene Ely put a plane down on a so-called carrier. That's a lot of white pilot tradition. Proud tradition, he tells Jesse.
When Jesse would start talking about the difficulties he was having with the officers and whatever, he depended on me for, I guess, I was his sounding board. And I would express my opinions. And most of the time when he'd sound so discouraged, I always did take an attitude about things like that. And I'd tell him, you know, you're not going to give up on that. You know, you've worked too hard, you've come too far. And you can't turn around now and show them, I may not have said it in those exact words, but you show them that you're stronger than they think, that you're not going to let them give up your dream of being a pilot.
He continues to tell Jesse that flight instructors are going to give him a down quicker than looking at him. Enough downs and you're out. Jesse was silent for a few seconds.
I'd like to try, sir. I'd still like to try.
Dawkins finally shook his head at the stubbornness of this boy. In addition, he warned him he would be flying up the side of Mount Everest. He then told Jesse that he would contact him as soon as he arranged for the test.
Thank you, sir.
So he took the test several times, and he was told in no uncertain terms that he would never be able to pass that test. So he took it several times, he persevered, and finally he passed the test, and that's when he was put in the Navy ROTC. And from there, he was sent to, I believe it was Ottumwa, and he left Ohio State and went on into the Navy training.
I'm in the Navy as an apprentice seaman, USNR D5, on inactive duty. I had to go down to Cincinnati to take the test, and for a while, I thought the milling exam was going to be too much for me, but I managed to muddle through the 5 hours of written tests. One interviewer asked me a lot about aircraft types, and thank God I knew the answer. By evening, about half the guys were eliminated. I took the physical test the next day. Hey, no problem. All that running and lifting boxes in the railroad yard took care of me. I'm classified desirable rather than outstanding or superior. I guess I'm lucky to be desirable. However they classify me, I'll be getting $50 a month for the privilege of taking the naval orientation, drilling, etc. Yes, it was told about the lynchings in Georgia, and I suppose you know within the past month there's also been 2 in Mississippi. All of that plus this recent riot in Athens, Alabama, doesn't give me any love for dear old Dixie. As you say, we'll just have to give our best and trust in God for all of it. Your pal, Jesse.
When he found out that he finally had passed and was going to be in this program, he realized then that no black had ever taken that test and had passed it, and that if he could complete it, he would be the first black. I think that's when the realization hit him, is when he finally passed that test.
I am Roland Christensen. I was privileged to be Jesse Lee Roy Brown's first flight instructor. I went to the flight commander and said that I would like to have a black cadet as a student, and he said, he's yours. I went down then and to meet Jesse. I went sought out Jesse Brown. I informed him that I would be his instructor. And he saluted and said, yes, sir. And I said, sir, relax, Jesse. We're going to talk a little bit, and tomorrow we will start our first flight. We sat and talked about where we came from, what we had in common, what our goals and aspirations were,